Okay, stop. Listen, we have an extremely exciting episode for you guys. Unfortunately, Jesse couldn't be on the show this week. He has some family in town, so family is very, very important. He's spending some time with his family, so Christian and I went through this episode together on our own here. No guest, catching up on the process. We talked about my juice bar and how we just signed our lease on our storefront business. We talked about Christian's supply, La Frontera Supply Company, which does t-shirts and a whole bunch of other merchandise highlighting figures in Mexican history. So you can check that out. And also, we talked about a very, very important topic, guys, which is not forcing things to happen in your life, and kind of taking a step back and reflecting on the situation and really what's going on. So, listen, if you are in a point in your life, or you are at a point in your career or anything where you're forcing something, or you're trying to push forward and it just doesn't feel right, we talked about some ways that you can cope with that, some ways you can strategize on how to get around the situation. So from a place of experience, you can kind of just step back, reflect, check out the episode, and thanks for listening.
Welcome to the Everyday Hustle Show, where we're figuring it out together over time. On the show, we'll be giving you the tools you need to take your career and life to the next level. So get ready for interviews and topics that will give you a competitive edge against the shuffle we call life. Sure, we might get into some heavy topics, but we also like to laugh and have a fun time too. Are you ready for the show? Here's your hosts, Jesse, Andrew, and Christian.
And we're live.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to another edition of the Everyday Hustle Show. This episode 34, is brought to you by D Squared Media.
And what is D Squared, Chris?
D Squared Media is our sponsor. They can help you out in basically all your needs when it comes to creative design, internet marketing, web design, small business branding, pretty much just any branding that has to do with your company or any sort of promotional needs. So yeah, that's what they do. We also have
Shout out to Danny, who was on, was that the last episode or 2 episodes ago?
Last episode.
Episode. Yeah. We had a lot of good feedback on that episode. Danny is the owner of that company, owner, founder, owner, operator. He built that company from nothing to where it is in, a short 5 or 6 years. But that company, I've worked hand in hand with them on a few different projects. And I could say that, confidently, that if you need some work done as far as graphic design, web design, logo, anything to do with branding your business, or just, any help with the vision with where your business wants to go in general, they're a great place to start.
Yeah, his story was really cool too. When we had him here, and how he kind of like
the whole bus sign thing.
Yeah, man, that was cool. But yeah, so shout out to Danny and D Squared Media for supporting us, and we obviously support them as well. So
yeah, we actually had some good reaction on the shirts, or on the hats. Sold a couple hats, which is awesome. I'm wearing one right now, but it actually is a spoof, not a spoof. It's a. They basically messed it up. They messed up the embroidery, so they sent us out another one. But yeah, like the hats are really good quality. Like some hats are too small, they don't fit right. These hats kind of just fit. They fit just right. The embroidery is awesome. It's got a little, TEHS, the Everyday Hustle Show hashtag on the side. All hustle no luck on the front with the whole urban city skyline font, which came out really cool. Yeah, they're cheap, man. They're like $15,
Yeah, and they're snapbacks, so if you got a big noggin,
yeah,
don't worry, they'll fit you.
Yep. And again, the whole reason why we're selling, we got t-shirts, hats, mugs, posters, a few little things on the website with just 2 different designs. I haven't gone too crazy with designs yet.
We got posters on there?
Yeah, I threw a poster up there,
I like
but
that.
I mean, yeah, to me, I would rather wear something, but someone had asked for it, so I put it up there, and they didn't buy it though.
Hey, at least we got it up there. We offer it.
Yeah, we got it up there. But yeah, the whole point of having the merch with the podcast is just to help it become self-sufficient. So We're taking baby steps to get there, but baby steps are better than no steps at all.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah, and especially from where we came from, I mean, to see it kind of get to the point where it's at now, it's really cool to at least just be a part of it, be able to witness it.
How can someone pick up some merch, Chris? Where do they got to go?
They just got to head over to www.andrewnyes.com/shop. And you can find not only that, right? You got other stuff too on there, I think?
Not right now.
Oh, okay. But some other stuff that Andrew's working on. You can find, everything he's doing on that website.
Yeah, that website is a work in progress.
Yeah, you've been working on that for a while, but it's looking good.
Yeah, Danny actually spruced it up for me. So if you want an example of what his works look, I kind of laid the foundation. But he did some of the fine tuning for it, and it came out really good. And I bought that domain because I started reading. What's that? The very first Gary Vaynerchuk book, Crush It.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he talks about building your personal brand, right? And it starts with like the website, because we kind of touched on it last episode. Facebook and Instagram and that type of thing is cool, but you don't own it, right? So his whole concept was start building the brand with the website. Get an emailing list, all that type of stuff, and it's cool to say like you can go to andrewnyes.com.
Right.
And like I own that website and have built everything on it. No one can take that down. The only way that's going to get taken down is if I don't pay for the hosting,
Or the internet somehow.
Or the internet implodes, which could happen. Yeah. You never know.
But yeah, like you said, that the whole regulations thing is definitely makes sense. Like Facebook can put something out tomorrow that will and they've done that. Where it makes like advertising more difficult. It makes certain things more difficult. But on your website, you don't have to worry about that. So that
exactly. Yep. And then we found out a way to put the merch connected there. Instead of doing Shopify, which costs $30 a month, we can do it through a plugin there that is free. So like there's money saved right there, and that's another plus. There's so many pluses about having your own website. So if you guys have any questions about that, I'm happy to talk to anybody, point you in the right direction for the hosting or whatever it is. My hosting's like $5 a month.
That's
you
cheap.
pay $12 a year for the domain and then $5 a month to host it, and you got your own website. The page builders and all that stuff are easy to use. It's free. So I'm happy to help anyone with that if they're looking to get their own domain.
Awesome.
So we're obviously a man down tonight.
Yeah.
Jesse has family in town, so we're rocking without him. So we're just going to touch on a few little things that are going on with us, and kind of just see where the conversation goes. I'm wearing a fucking crispy La Frontera shirt right now. Have you seen me on my Instagram story? Yo, the finish is ill. The little graphics, did Abel do this silhouette of the guy on the front?
Yeah.
So it's a left breast shirt, is it called?
Yeah.
So a little icon on the left breast and then font on the back. Super comfortable, really good fit. We'll see what happens after I wash it a couple times. But these are all direct to garment, right?
Yeah. So we're really pleased on that too, because that's one thing that we're kind of like a little worried about is
quality.
Quality,
yeah. Because you never know when you touch it.
Right.
It's
Yeah, but luckily, I mean, we've gotten pretty good feedback from how they come out, at least so far. Like you said, we'll see what happens when you wash them. But from what we read online, everything seems to be pretty good. So we'll see.
And how are you guys doing with sales?
Sales haven't been too good. We've gotten some sales from like family members so far, and like one of our main
same
things,
thing with the podcast.
Yeah,
it's not no random strangers. Actually, dude, a random guy asked on Instagram where he said, "I like that hat. Where can I buy it?" And then I sent the information to him, and he never.
But at least he
maybe I'll send him a DM like today. That's actually a good idea. Like, yo, I know you commented, but yeah, it's hard to get organic new customers.
Right, and we launched a Facebook ad, and we've been doing a lot of research on that, and also Instagram influencers. So there's a couple Instagram influencers that we've reached out to. We actually ran a couple campaigns, and actually they're surprisingly cheap.
What do they charge?
One of them was 25 for 3 days.
$25 for 3 days.
Yeah.
How many posts does that get you?
One post on their wall, but it's.
What do you mean 3 days though?
So they'll put it up for 3 days, but they erase it so that way it's because they'll have a lot of ads and they don't want their wall to be,
And how many followers does that person have?
300. That one had 325,000. And it's one that I've been following. Me and Kelly, we love. It's like it's basically videos, just random videos, but they're either funny or they're interesting, and we watch them
Hood
personally.
clips?
Not that one. It's
No, they got millions of
They
followers.
got millions. Yeah, this one is El Rey del Corrido, so it's like a Spanish.
Yeah, cool. Shit, for $25.
It's not bad. We got
The
some.
thing is that, dude, you can buy followers, right?
Yeah.
So some of these accounts may not have 300,000 organic followers who are
Right.
seeing the feed, but I mean,
Yeah, and I haven't done any research on paid followers or anything like that. I mean, but
if they're following, like, do you go through and see all their comments stuff like that? Like people are talking in Spanish.
no.
That
no.
might be something that you want to look for, right?
Well, they have. Are you talking about the one that the IG influencer?
Whatever, any influencer,
Any of 'em?
yeah.
Well, this one they post a bunch of shit, so it's not like really they're not like focusing on just like Spanish or Mexican clips. They're like literally everything. So they're really trying to appeal to everybody. But one thing too that's pretty big that we've noticed is like. Okay, for example, if I'm going, online and I see a shirt that I like or whatever the case is, sometimes I'll go to their, Facebook or Instagram, and if they don't have that many followers, it kind of makes it a little bit different. You know what I'm saying? It's almost like, even if someone likes a shirt, if they go and they see that, you don't have many followers or you're just starting out, it almost like makes it a little bit less of like a demand or you feel like it's less popular or whatever the case is.
Right.
Some people actually like that stuff, but
Yeah, like the rare,
Right.
just starting out stuff. I mean, anybody with half a brain would like it. I mean,
Right.
I feel like, I don't know, because I don't know about clothing at all.
yeah,
I don't know what people look for in it, why they wear. I mean, do they wear what they wear because it's something they believe in,
Right.
or I'm sure most people just wear a shirt because it looks cool.
right.
You know?
And that's one thing that we were kind of thinking about at first, but then we really, especially with like the concept that we had with every single drop was going to be honoring one individual
Right.
Mexican history. We wanted it to be organic. We wanted it to be not really like involving many gimmicks or like kind of watered down. So like that was the whole idea behind doing that original piece, which we had Philip Wolves, who was on one of our episodes early on, and he came up with like a original piece, and we really wanted that to be like I said, organic. So that's kind of why we went that route. But yeah, I mean, luckily we have.
Yeah, Philip Wolves, just by the way, episode 14.
Yeah.
That was Philip Wolves. Yeah, he is a tattoo artist, studied a lot of philosophy,
Yeah.
and traveled a boatload.
Yeah,
So
that
if
episode was fire.
Yeah, great episode. If you guys are into any of that stuff, just go back into iTunes, scroll back down to the 14th episode. You'll see Philip W. on there. You can check out that episode.
Yeah, that one was fire. Yeah, but yeah, so it's cool, man. It's just luckily, we don't have much overhead with this drop shipping option. So we
like
have
none.
yeah. I mean, well, we have the Shopify because we're actually looking into possibly going the same route you're taking, which is will save us a little bit. But I mean, really, like all of our overhead is basically just Facebook ads, or if we need to get another original piece done. But yeah, so it's we have time basically. It's nice. We're not really like feeling rushed or nothing like that.
Yeah, it's not like you need to pay the bills with
Right.
the money that you're going to make from the project. It's like a side thing, which is cool.
Yeah, it makes it a little bit less stressful. You're not really like with LGM, my first clothing brand. It was stressful, man, because I knew I was sitting on a bunch of products. I was sitting on, that I had already paid for, so I was already in the negative. But yeah, it was stressful taking that route. This route, at least, I feel a lot more free in terms of like, like the way we want to do this, the route we want to take. Like we just started this thing that we're doing every Thursday. It's called Trucha Thursdays, and that's basically where we not necessarily promote, but just kind of like shed a little bit of like a spotlight on people that are artists. That could be basically poets, graffiti artists, painters, anyone that's like celebrating the heritage and basically just like giving them a little bit of like a spotlight. So, not that we wouldn't be able to do that with a conventional route, but it's definitely a lot easier this route.
Yeah. So you guys kind of made like a little schedule and have some things that you're doing. Yeah. Kind of the same type of thing that we try to do, but
it's a little hard.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's cool.
Tight.
Yeah, but what about you? What's going on with the juice bar?
So we signed the lease this past week. We did a 1-year sublease, which is probably one of the better options for us, as it was kind of broken down to me by everyone who I talked to the idea about. So it's inside of another business. Sublease means it's you're basically leasing it from someone who has a prime lease or the actual lease, right? So these people have a lease of a 12,000 square foot yoga, Pilates, gym studio type thing. Not traditional gym. There's no weights, unfortunately. I mean, there's some kettlebells and things like that, but that's what they do in there. And so they have the prime lease, and then we basically give them a little small portion of money, and we sublease just a tiny bit of space from them, right? So we basically kind of piggy-tailing off of them without having to like sign like a 5-year commitment. Like they have a 10-year commitment with a personal guarantee.
Shit.
Yeah. So we're basically just kind of helping them, and they're even though it is a big place, they're small business owners. They have this one studio and then one other one, but they only are. I'm not sure if they are involved in the other one or not, but they do have 2 locations. One's in another state though. So we did a year, and we have 60 days from when we signed the lease, which was last Tuesday, I believe. Tuesday, or this past Tuesday. So we have 60 days from then to get to open up. Then we start paying rent.
Oh, nice.
But yeah, we already gave them the deposit, first month's rent, and security deposit, which was a month's rent, which, was like almost $5,000. So that's like a heavy. That means it's time to fucking go. Yeah. Once they took that check out of the bank, it was like, oh shit, boys, this is fucking real. They took the money. So, we just have to do a little bit of plumbing inside the space. There was already a juice bar in there, but they were just selling pre-made stuff. Oh, okay. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to put in a sink, so that way, because we're going to be blending drinks, pressing juices, making sandwiches. So all we got to do is add the sink in. The counter's there. We add the sink. We add the equipment, fill the place with fucking supplies, and we're in there working. That's awesome. So hopefully within the next, hopefully by that 60-day mark, we can open. And it really just depends on how long it's going to take to get the permits. You're a blue collar guy, you should know about that, right?
Permits, absolutely not.
You don't know anything about permits?
No, nothing.
You never have to like pull a permit before you do like a big job or something like that?
Not at the tech level, not like as a technician.
Somebody else does.
The
general contractor usually does. Yeah, and that's what this guy was like. He's like, you need a contractor. I was like, well, we don't really need a contractor. I didn't think we needed a contractor because we're only doing plumbing work. So why would I have to pay a contractor to pull permits and do this when I'm just going to have the plumber do the work? So he's like, well, just the easiest way for you to do it is you go to the city. So now I'm going into the building division of, Coconut Creek, wherever. Coconut Creek is the town. So I'm going in there on Monday with young Francis, and we're going to, which is kind of cool because, like, dude, I've never been in a place like that.
You can see the process. You can see how it works.
And that's what I said to the plumber. I was like, dude, you got to, like, realize you're talking to a person who knows absolutely nothing about this thing.
Yeah.
And, like, dude, it's big for me to be able to say that, right? Because you always want to act like you know what you're talking about. No matter what, I mean, I feel like that's just kind of how guys are, and that's how the ego is, and that's how, we want to act and react and talk to people. But I'm like, guy, I don't know anything. I literally know nothing about this process. So basically, I just need you to help me, guide me in the right direction. And he's like, yeah, you just go down there yourself, figure out exactly what you need to do. Once you figure out what you need to do, we'll work on it together.
Awesome.
I just feel like I got scared because before I even go there, I'm like, oh, it's gonna be like the fucking DMV.
Oh,
You got to go there, pull a number, wait 3 hours, blah blah blah. But Danny works for Danny. Shout out to Danny Tobia. What episode was he on?
He was with Ben. I can't remember which number.
I
I don't know if they have. I don't know if we have their name like at the beginning of the episode.
I feel like it's episode 11.
Yeah, it was like I think it was just.
Yeah, shout out to Danny and Ben, longtime friends of ours. They're on episode 11. Scroll back down to that episode if you want to have some laughs. It was a funny episode. But yeah, he works for a contracting company, and he's like, dude, you'll go in there, it'll take 20 minutes.
Nice.
You'll be in and out. So, but yeah, those places are only open Monday to Friday, business hours, bankers hours. So it's like. And like I'm working part-time and I only have Mondays off, and same thing with Frank. So it's like, dude, this stuff is very, very important for us to be like on point
100%,
and be like, yo, this day, this time we need to be here, we need to get this done because we're on the clock.
Yeah.
What I'm saying? It doesn't matter if the place is ready to go or not. After that certain time, that time period clicks over, we're paying.
Right.
Whether we're generating revenue or not. So it's fucking go time.
Yeah, that's exciting though.
Very exciting.
Yeah.
Very, very exciting. I just got a juicer. We were in there pressing some drinks before the show.
That was good. Yeah, it was delicious.
Had a couple of drinks. I mean, I've been blending smoothies for a while, like post-workout stuff. So like smoothies is easier for me. I know all about the fruits and what tastes good and what base to use and how much ice to fruit to liquid ratios. Know all that stuff. Juicing, I just started messing with. I haven't done too much of it. So I'm going to be learning that over the next, month or two while we wait for this process. But dude, this is very simplistic stuff, and if you do it right, and you're nice, and the place is clean, and you have good recipes and all that stuff, like it's a fucking home run, dude.
Yeah. Because I feel like that's big too. Is like your personality, like because you're in there with someone else,
right?
And I would have to imagine that the customers that are already in there are probably like the same customers. So to build that relationship with them and it kind of...
Yeah, the guy in there was like, listen, like, they've been asking for it, which was like
awesome.
Very reassuring.
Yeah.
And he's like, they'll come and tell you what they want before their class, and then you could have it ready when they get out of their class. You can take phone orders, all that stuff. I said, yeah, we'll get all that done.
That's awesome.
I want to make it as convenient for these people as possible. Like you want to drink when you get out of class? No problem. I got you covered. It'll be ready when you get out, and like that's just how I'm going to operate in there. And we're going to fucking kill it. We're going to knock it out of the park. A big thing for us is we're going to have to figure out how to get people who aren't members of the gym to come into our business. Right. Because there's only 200 and something people who walk through there every day, and you can't really count on half of those buying something. Right. I mean, if half of those people do buy something, we'll be doing great. Right. If 10-20% of them, we would need to make sure, for sure, 100% that there are non-gym members or non-yoga members coming in off the street.
Have you guys thought about like how you're gonna do that? Advertising or not yet?
And we got D Squared up in here, dude.
That's true.
So we'll start with the simple stuff. Yeah. We have a logo. We have a domain. We'll get the website built. We'll get the Facebook and the Instagram. And then we're going to have to try some type of paid campaigns. Yeah. We'll do some search engine optimization stuff on Google. Google Maps will be on there.
Yeah, definitely.
So people go on Google Maps and type in juice bar or whatever, like we'll go in there. We'll have some type of program where like if you come into the store and hop on Google and give us a review, I'm going to give you a drink or something like that. I'm going to give you a free shot or whatever it is, something like that. Like to get our name out there. A lot of people doing like check in on Facebook and get $1 or whatever.
That's a good idea too.
Stuff like that. So I feel like that stuff is going to be really important.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't realize how powerful that stuff is. Like if you're on Facebook and you check in, like, and your friends list is 1,000 people and they see that you're at this place, it's free traffic.
Yeah.
And the product doesn't cost too much. So to give away the product, to have someone, plug you on social media or whatever. So we got to get creative like that. We'll have like membership things, where it's like punch cards or whatever, some creative way. Yeah. Hopefully we can find some digital way to do it where it's, I mean, an app would be ideal, but I'm sure that's very expensive.
I think I was looking at apps actually not too long ago, and I think now there's like app builders that you can actually create, and I don't think it's that tough.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
I mean, dude, it could be something as simple as like you open the app and it's just a card.
Yeah.
And there's 10 things, and and like every time you come in, I scan something, and it checks off one. And when you have 10, you get one free or something like that. You know, something to keep people coming, keep them. You know, and that's like, dude, you know, everyone has that now.
Yeah.
Fucking 7-Eleven has a rewards thing.
I was gonna say, yeah,
You love
I
it.
have the app. Yeah,
I know, you love
I have the app for 7. Yeah, but it's like essential though. It's like, you know, because it's not only that you're, you know, like it's like a campaign, but you're also rewarding your
customers.
your loyal customers. Yeah, so yeah, that's smart. That's exciting though, man.
One thing that I worry about in that industry, I feel like a lot of the places just put like a pretty girl in the front or something trendy and hip, and they just, you know, and that's why people stop there, you know? I mean, there ain't gonna be no fucking pretty girls at this shop. I'll tell you that right now. It's gonna be me and fucking hairy tattooed Frank. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know. Frank's pretty. I don't know.
You know, so, but I'll demystify that with, you know, good service and personality and all that stuff. So, but yeah, very exciting. Thrilled that the paperwork is signed and that like the hunt for the whole space is over, and the back and forth with negotiations and all this shit. It was like, I mean, shit, we started in like March or something like that. We had the idea, and then, you know, so it's been a couple months. Yeah, I'm happy with the way that it's going. Learning a lot from my current boss at the jet ski shop, you know, about businesses and things like that. So just always ears to the floor, just listening.
Yeah.
Wait, ears to the floor.
Ears to the something. I don't know.
What the? Yeah, just always learning and absorbing, man.
Yeah.
I love it, dude. I got a book delivered today on juicing and the health benefits.
Ooh, I seen that. I think it was fire right
like,
there.
dude, I opened it up and I just start learning, and it just fires me up, you know?
Yeah, because I think that's important too, is to be able to explain to your customers, you know, like this is what the benefits you'll get from drinking this one or that one. And so you said in there it's not just yoga, it's like gym too or something, or
They have Pilates.
okay.
Some kind of Trex. You ever hear of Trex bands?
Oh yeah.
They do boot camp for that, spin classes, and like hot yoga, kids yoga, all kinds of stuff like that.
Nice.
Yeah. I mean, ideally, we want it to be in a traditional weightlifting gym, and we want it because that's kind of like what we're into. But this will be a foothold, a segue into that, hopefully.
Yeah.
Or not even be in a gym, be next to one or around one.
Yeah, so. Networking and stuff, and but I think that's cool though, man. Like I think it's cool to see when things kind of work out and pan out, even though like your original idea didn't work out, but because you kept doing it, because you kept, you know, being persistent, and open to the possibility, and now you're at a fucking place.
Yeah, listen, I mean, in life you don't always get what you want, you know, you get what you need. In my experience in the past couple years of just like really getting my head out of my ass and being in tune with what's going on around me, I don't always get what I want, but it happens the way that it should.
Right.
It doesn't always happen in my time. It happens in the fashion that it should. And when I'm rushing things and I'm forcing things and I'm trying to make a square peg fit in a round hole, shit just ain't gonna end right.
Right.
You know. So I know that now, and I kind of just sit back and I just cruise with it.
Yeah.
You know, I don't put my hands in the pot too much.
Right.
There was an awesome quote by E.T. the hip hop preacher.
Yeah.
Yo, what do you think about him?
I honestly, I haven't been. I mean, I still follow him on Instagram, but I haven't really been checking his podcast or too much of that recently.
Okay.
Why? You got some dirt?
No, I don't got dirt. It's just I don't know. Like, I just kind of think they're getting a little bit full of themselves. Yeah, like the title was The Humble Hip Hop Preacher, the last podcast, and it just like it wasn't what you thought it would be. Like, and they talk about like they deem themselves like this crew and this group working for the number one motivational speaker in the world. Like, who gave you that title?
Right.
I don't know. I mean, I've never seen I don't know, maybe sales. I mean, I don't know. But But anyway, yeah, and like whenever they're on the podcast, they're always talking about how they're here, they're there, they made, I'm in the Ritz, blah, 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 blah. I mean, good for them. I mean, they made it,
Right.
I guess. I don't know, but the quote says, "Stop thinking and start doing. Thoughts make sense, but execution makes money."
Oof.
You know, yeah, fire. So right now in our lives, both of us are executing, you know, which is awesome. And hopefully executing on, you know, this idea for you for T-shirts and merchandise, and this idea for me for doing a storefront business will yield us some returns, allow us to be our, you know, own boss fully someday in some way, shape, or form, not have to answer to anyone, and have the freedom of time and be plentiful in
Ooh.
time. Money would be nice,
Right.
but time is the ultimate currency, my
Ooh.
brother.
Okay. Yeah, man. Yeah, it's that quote is pretty relevant always, man. Always, as far as, you know, being willing to act and being willing to put in the footwork and just kind of keep going when you know, like you said before, when things aren't necessarily panning out. And I think for me,
Like any point in that 5 months, I could just be like, fuck it.
right.
It was just an idea.
Right.
It's just not going the way that I wanted to. I'll just fucking throw the towel in now.
Right. But you didn't.
And then I would have been back working in a fucking call center or doing some fucking dumb shit.
Right. Yeah, man. And that, I think that's like the biggest thing. And for me, you know, anytime I'm like in that place of like gratitude and I'm not really worried about, you know, the outcome or fuck, am I going to be working at this HVAC place for the rest of my life? You know, fucking this guy over here who's been with the company for, you know, 20 plus years, 30 years. And he kind of seems like, you know, upset a little bit or miserable or whatever the case might be. But I'm not really like too worried about it, man. Like I feel good at this company. You know, I'm getting like better and more confident at what I do. And I think overall, no matter like what happens, you know, after this job or maybe this will turn into a career, who knows? I'm not really like, you know, trying to think about it too much or analyze it too much. I'm just, you know, doing that. But also another thing too that I'm like really happy about with this brand, you know, La Frontera is, you know, that whole creative process is something that I'm like super in love with. And, you know, I'm really like starting to, you know, look at other aspects of that creativity, you know, and like following different people like graffiti artists and like painters and like
how
their
dope would it
stories.
just be to be doing that all the time?
Yeah, man.
You know, living online, doing merch shit, like, and dude, I feel like, so the business that I'm getting into, this doesn't apply to, but for something like that, if you could find out a way to do it and do it from anywhere,
right.
Holy shit, boys! I mean, that's the hit. That's the end game. That's, to me, I mean, this business that I'm starting could operate and could function without me there, which could give me the ability to you know, to move around. But I think that, yeah, like the guys who are doing that stuff and can kind of roam around, live that nomad lifestyle, I'm very envious of that.
Yeah. It's definitely it's definitely a cool idea, but I think also that is like big is, you know, just starting somewhere, and this right here, like what you're doing with the juice bar, may not be your end game, but it could like open up a door somewhere, and I think it will, you know, eventually.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that's like the biggest thing is the possibility of what happens when you act, what happens when you take some sort of like a step forward, and then all of a sudden, you know, who knows, maybe, you know, some guy walks into your juice bar or some, you know, woman walks into your juice bar and you start talking, you know, you network, and then all of a sudden now you have another opportunity to do something else.
Yep.
You know, and I think that, like, as far as what I've experienced in my life, like what we're talking about, you know, things kind of just like working out the way they're supposed to when you kind of don't get in the way and you don't have those expectations. I have so many of those, you know, experiences in my life that if I would have like gotten in the way, and if I would have been, you know, impatient, or if I would have, you know, tried to get it my way, this wouldn't have happened or that wouldn't have happened. And like, I'm so glad that I didn't, you know. It's cool.
It's a very interesting concept, very good topic to talk about. I'm sure there's people in their lives, their everyday lives, who are feeling like they're forcing something. So this may be a good step or a good time if you're in that place to kind of just let
Yeah.
go a little bit, step back, do a little bit of reflection, looking at yourself and looking at the situation and really figuring out what it is you want with something. So that I feel like everybody has something
Oh,
like
yeah.
that in their life.
100%.
I'm sure that they can identify with. All right, cool. So let's wrap it up there. I mean, that was a good. We'll cut it short. We'll have
Yeah.
a nice little short episode for people to listen to, so that way they don't feel overwhelmed by anything long. We appreciate the support. Subscribe to the podcast, leave us a rating. If you want to show some support by picking up some merch, remember you could do that at www.andrewnyes.com. ANDREWNYCZ.com. Just click on shop and you'll see all the available items. And also this episode, remember, is brought to you guys by D Squared Media, specializing in creative design, internet marketing, web design, and small business branding in general. If you want to reach out to them, dsquaredmedia.net. And I don't think we mentioned this in the beginning of the episode, but anybody who goes to them and needs a service or needs work done can just say that they're an Everyday Hustle Show listener and receive 10% off of their total service package, whatever you guys are getting. So save some money, get some work done, brand the business, grow yourself, scale a thing, and let's freaking do it.